I've had a few people out in the public ask, what's going on at McPheeters Bend School? Is there some kind of classes or some club meeting there or something?
Sure. So it's where our virtual academy teachers, we have 2 teachers that work with our students that are in the virtual academy. So let me back up for those that don't know. We started a virtual academy for students or parents who wanted their students to attend classes at home. We started that back in 2019 when I came, just to give parents a choice, because we were losing a lot of kids to homeschool, a lot of kids to private schools. We still have over 150, 60 that are in homeschool now, whether that's independent or a school system throughout the state that offers those services. And we lose them as students, we lose the funding. We want to educate every student that's within our county. We feel it's our obligation as a public school system to do so. But with that being said, I did tell the board when I came that I would like to be competitive and offer choices for some of our parents. There are students that are apt to get into trouble and their parents don't want them in school. There are students that have behavior issues that may be medically related. Parents feel more comfortable with them being at home. There's a group of students when they get into high school that want to start working, and a traditional school schedule doesn't allow them to work. So if they do the virtual, they can do those classes in the evenings, they can do them early morning, they can do them evenings, they can work during the day. So we've got all kinds of students that are benefiting from the virtual academy, but because we've got 100 to 150, and it varies school year to school year between 100 and 150, and that's where we cap it. Grades right now 4th through 12th, and we have so many that still need that point of contact with a teacher, that we hired 2 teachers and we placed them at McPheeters Bend because it's no longer a school, and parents and students can set up times to meet with those teachers. Those teachers use that as their hub for pushing out lessons, for meeting with students online, meeting with them in person. Testing, we use it for a testing site. So every 4.5 weeks, there'll be a number of parent cars in the parking lot because their students are inside being tested. So even our virtual students have to be in person to test. And then we also use it for a meeting space. We have a once a month principal meeting. So principals and APs from all schools come together on different days because we leave one set of administrators on the school sites at all times. But if it's a Thursday once a month, we're meeting with principals, and then Fridays we pull the assistants. And that's where we meet out there. So it's a professional development center, homeschool center. Our CTE department is out there. Not homeschool, virtual school. CTE is there. All the vocational stuff is ran out of there. Dr. Williams and Seth Roten are out there. I'm trying to think what else. Our EL program is out there. So the individual that leads our translators and our teachers that work with our English language learners, she has an office out there as well. And these people aren't sitting there. They're going to the schools, but that's their home location. So that's where they report, and that's where we have our meetings once a month. So that's what's going on out there. We're using the space even though it's ceased to be a school. There's also, the gym is being used by a big group of pickleballers twice a week.
Okay.
So there's a lot of cars in the parking lot every Wednesday and Monday, Wednesdays for pickleball.
Okay.
So if people see cars in the parking lot, there's a lot going on out there, but we're not running traditional classes, although at any given point, if there's students out there testing, or if there's virtual academy students meet with those teachers, there could be a handful of students out there.
So, okay, so how do you get credit for those students?
They have to make a face-to-face appearance online with their teacher every day, and we can track the amount of time that they're on their computer and how much time they're spending on each activity that we push out to them. We also get everything that they submit electronically, and we know how much time those typically take a student. So if it's a worksheet, digital worksheet that's on the computer, and it takes an average person 20 minutes, and we get it back in an hour and a half, we know that student's probably wasting some time. Pick up the phone or check in with them online and get them back on the ball there. We do a vetting process. We don't just allow any students to sign up for Virtual Academy. We require a meeting with the parents. The primary parent that's going to be sitting with them and or holding them accountable. Even if the student doesn't have a parent that's sitting with them, there's an accountability that's passed on to that parent when they sign up for that, where they agree to help hold them accountable and help ensure that they are online when they should be and doing what they need to be doing. And if they fail the attendance requirement, they're moved back to a traditional setting.
But if they pass in their county, then
Yep, those courses are vetted through the state. They meet the same state standards and concepts that are taught in the classroom. So as long as they earn those credits, they get the same diploma at the end of the year that anybody else would finish in Volunteer, Cherokee, or Clinch. So
We had a graduation this last year, and there was, what,
20 of them, yeah.
20 of them
Yep.
that
Really?
graduated.
Yeah.
One graduated, and he didn't even show up to graduate, but he graduated with, what was it, 4.0 or something
Yeah.
like that. And
And
he wouldn't even come and graduate.
Yeah, he had a straight 4.0, and then there was another student, and I think Sharon mentioned this, that was just shy of having a full associate's degree by the
Yeah.
time they finished too. So a lot of those students, and in that particular graduating class, my daughter included, they were able to work while they were doing their courses. So my daughter Macy did full culinary and other courses at Cherokee in person. She did some online, but then that allowed her flexibility to go work in restaurants and other industries because she's culinary. So now she's in school in South Carolina doing culinary because of the courses and the experiences she was able to get while she was in the virtual academy. So
Wow.
for the right people in the right settings, it offers a choice. It's not for everybody, but the classroom is not for everybody. So I think it gives us a little bit of flexibility. I'll give you another example. There are some students, I talked about behavior. There are some students that just are not successful in a normal classroom. We give this to them, we see how they do, we check in with them frequently, and they're able to self-pace. A lot of times we find out that some of the behaviors are because they know the concepts, they know the standards, and they just want to go. And so this program allows for them to self-pace and get some courses done quicker, graduate quicker, and move on to what they want to do. With the state offering money for dual enrollment, we've even had virtual academy students that have gotten done with high school, and before they're 18, they start taking dual enrollment courses along the way. And that student, for example, that almost had a 2-year degree out of college when they graduated high school, they're able to get quite a bit done before they're done with Hawkins County. Even some of our Cherokee, Volunteer, and Clinch students have taken singleton or 2 or 3 courses from the virtual academy because they're not offered at times that are convenient for them at their schedule. So if you're a senior and you need a Spanish class in order to graduate, but your schedule's full, maybe you were behind in credits or whatever, I can sign you up virtually for a Spanish class. You can do it in the evenings, doesn't impact your daily schedule, and you still get the credit at the end of the semester. So it's opened some doors. It's not for everybody, but it's opened some doors.
Amazed at how good these kids do on that. Some that you would think would not make it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't make it in high school. They have actually turned out to be great kids on that.
Yeah. And we didn't have a mechanism for doing anything with those students unless we did a credit recovery type of just getting them the bare minimum, but that's not really serving those students to the full potential. Glenda's right. If we have the opportunity to really give them a different avenue for getting those courses offered to them, most of them have risen to that challenge and have really done well. So that's a good question, though. We use the heck out of that those offices down there.
I've had, a couple of people ask me, and I'm like, I'm not sure, I'm kind of like, I thought they was doing, fire training classes or firefighter classes. I said, I'm not sure. I said, let me see if I can ask and remember to find out.
That
So,
was one of the plans. We had the Hawkins County Volunteer Firemen's Association, I think, actually asked for one of the classrooms. We allowed that, the board allowed that, and then they had some change in leadership and they wound up not using it. They had it set up, but they wound up not using it. But we've got fire science at both high schools. There's a waiting list for it, so we're continuing that just at our high schools.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Waiting list in both programs.